Yeah, hopefully it's not another like we need to get 3 points
Stitch-up
again.
game.
We've had too many losses and
draws.
Like we've not won since what?
If we can get 2 wins in a row, so this one against Brisbane and then on the weekend against next weekend against Adelaide, we're looking really good. We could be top
Jeez.
as things stand. So
Surely that has to be wrong because we're not in good form.
yeah, we're
But
not.
I don't think
we've
the rest
gotten,
of the league is.
We've
either,
gotten
really.
points, and it's been very tight. Lots of teams dropping points that should have, won them, and other teams picking up points where they wouldn't have expected. Lots of inconsistency across the league.
It's very back and forth at the moment.
Yeah, the game really hasn't set into a rhythm.
That's a running theme with us, though. We always take a while to sort of get into a game. Like, we need 15 minutes to figure out we're playing football.
Usually we need a little slap in the face to wake up and actually start playing.
Yeah. Or we fluke a goal early somehow.
And then we stop playing.
Yeah. That's football, isn't it?
It's Mariappa beaten to the ball. O'Shea wide for Corey Brown. Pops it back in the mixer, and that's a decent play. Just not read there by Miliusnic.
Had our defensive line just completely out of it there.
It's a lot of that one-touch passing that I think the Bulls are missing. We really do labour over making a goal happen.
Yeah.
There's maybe a bit of, in the back of the mind, feeling like if we lose it, we're going to have to defend a really difficult attack.
Yeah.
And not wanting to stitch up your defenders. But we've got to have that will to go forward, that quick interchange of passing, the movement off the ball as well, which is sometimes lacking. Ball in from Noon. And it's claimed easily, too close to Macklin Freak.
Yeah. Not the typical delivery you expect from Noon. You expect him to whip it in and get some curve on it. But
well, ordinarily, Daniel De Silva would be taking our corners.
yeah, he's our best player not starting. What's
What's
going
the go
on
there? I mean, he must be a little bit sore from the other night.
Carrying.
Here's the equal assist leader in the A-League as well.
Yeah.
So
When I say he's our best player, like, he's not necessarily the best, but he's the most on form right now for us.
definitely. And, you need those type of players to be putting the numbers up, and he's certainly doing that. Scoring and assisting, mind you.
Hopefully we see him come into the game early in the second half, maybe. Good turn there from
Noon, just a
Noon.
heavy touch.
He's not got the legs for that on that touch.
In his youth, he could. And that just shows you there exactly how the formation's meant to work. Usually it'd be Mambois who's just misplaced a pass to Davia, but usually it'd be Mambois all on his own there, but Much was able to assist and just grab the ball off the Brisbane midfielder.
Yes, we crossed the 15-minute mark into this one, and more of the same.
Still a bit haphazard.
I don't think we've had a shot on target yet.
No.
So,
But we don't until we score.
Exactly.
Najjar not starting as well. What do you make of his impact on Thursday night?
It was big for Mariners. It was a bit unfortunate for him. Like, first one was a bit iffy, but you probably give it a pen. But I don't see how the second one is ever a pen.
Yeah, certainly. That's what you get with Australian referees, I suppose.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Chris Beath, an A-League referee, just refereed the FIFA Club World Cup game between Palmeiras and Chelsea. And
how'd he do?
No major screw-ups there. Went to pens, and Chelsea won that one.
We need to get something going here. Much collecting deep. Our fourth centre-back, he likes to slot in between. Davia, nice turn in the mids.
But he's harried really well there by Matty Steinman.
I feel like when we get it to Davia, there's just
Nothing.
not enough around him. Like, every time he receives the ball, he's almost required to beat one person.
Yeah, well, that's I suppose what you get when he's the only attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
What we gain in retaining possession and that in midfield with Much, we lose in the likes of De Silva. So
the rest of the team needs to be moving up after we hit these deep passes, though. Like,
Mambois with a couple of hospital passes so far. He's working his way into the game.
Yeah, they've still found us, but they've not looked convincing.
Much assessing things. This is what I want to see Charles do a bit more. Drop in and receive the ball from the centre backs. he does play a little bit too high, and that puts him a bit under pressure when he is receiving because the midfield or attacking players are always right on him. And Bruce looking forward, but a bit of a wasteful pass, although Lockie could make something of it. And Brisbane just recycle.
Lockie's quick, but he's not that quick, unfortunately.
That's something we also find difficult, is the pass out of defence.
Yeah, they moved it quite like one touch stuff there from Brisbane.
In
and
trouble.
They're in the box.
Goes Hoare, lays it back, and it should have been a goal there from Matty Steinman.
Some quality step overs. Don't know who was doing that, but was covering us up a little bit there.
He did him.
We never put the defenders on the back foot like that.
No, it's almost like Milicic has coached out of the side the willingness to take on players.
Yeah. Unless it's like definitely on.
We never do.
Like if it's a
1v1
counter attack like 3v1, then they'll run at a defender. You know, it has to be like a clear as day opportunity. Otherwise, it's pass first, which that's the mentality we've set out to play with in the comp. So
yeah. So Usnia looks to be having a bit of a difficult time with Jake Hoare. I think he's used to playing sort of in the central defender role a bit more, and a bit out of sorts with the left back. Sometimes
he's switched on and he can like ping a good ball out of defense or even skip past one or two players and progress it himself, but just looking a bit off today.
I feel like he doesn't have the touch receiving it from a centre back to sort of turn and then look and find the right pass. He's a more defensive centre back.
A lot of our centre backs don't really have that touch. But
and then played at left back. He's not dynamic. He's not like a Scott Jamieson or a Trent Alexander-Arnold. But you know what I mean. He's not got you're not thinking when he receives the ball he's going to skip past his marker. One there by De Villa. This is where we can profit moving forward, but Lockie and Charles not on the same wavelength.
The wavelengths are all over the place at the moment.
And on the screen, a graphic has popped up giving us a 10.7% win probability.
As we saw against the Mariners, anything can happen in the second half. So.
Yes, the expected goals, although that's just dreadful. They've really got to sort it out. I think if we can get to the halftime 1-0...
We've been saying that a lot recently.
Milicic will get up them and then they can come out better. We always tend to come out better in the second half.
Yeah, I think he gets up their asses. Gives them a bit of wake up.
Gives them the hairdryer treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been saying that a lot recently where we're looking suspects at half time and we're like, if we can just get it to the half. We can just get it to the half.
We weren't saying that on Thursday night, and lo and behold, our second half was marred by two poor decisions.
Poor decision from the ref or...
Well...
or a poor decision from someone else. But Brisbane trying to work it forward, and it's just a bit of panic football right now from us. Just under the pump, and we don't want the football. Just kicking it away. It's like we're 1-0 up, and we're trying to just make it to half time.
Yeah. There's some heavy legs out there you can see already.
Who do you reckon gets pulled at half time here? Like, who do we need to bring on to...
Look, I think Lockie needs a position change. I think Much has only got 45 minutes in his legs.
Yeah.
And...
who do we have on the bench? Meredith.
I could see Liam Rose coming on.
Yeah.
Because that midfield pairing has not really worked between Mumbo and Much. De Villa probably stays on.
De Silva is on the bench. I think he's got to come on at half.
Yeah, but as long as it's not for De Villa.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got more to offer. He's just been starved of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, no one really...
It's poor again from Mumbo. I don't think he's surviving this 90 minutes.
Yeah, ball pops out for Brisbane centre-back, and there's no pressure from our midfield to put on the Roar centre-mid. Like, easily
crunching challenge there.
The nearest player to him is like 20 metres away. Like,
yeah, they're not getting up in the attack.
Midfield 2 of Much and Momba
are too deep.
Yeah.
They do not have the energy for it, though. This is a 45-minute exercise, I bet.
Yeah.
We do know that the Macarthur coaching staff do look at the numbers and progressively try and get game time into the legs, and are very, thinking beforehand about the subs they will make. We saw De Vere get 70 minutes the other night, and he was a bit annoyed when he came off. He thought he could impact the game a bit more. We have Roos here on the byline defending. Cross comes in, dangerous area, but it's dealt with well. And De Vere can carry it away, although...
He's got 4 blokes on him. He's done well to get it to Lockie, and we'll take a foul there. Charles could have turned there. There's just no conversation, no communication out there telling him.
No confidence. You can get into a young player's head, particularly when they're playing a pivotal position like the midfield, where they just want to play it simple.
Yeah.
Every time. And especially when we've seen a few times over the last couple of games, Charles losing it in midfield, getting pinched, and then having to track back for to stop the counter.
Yeah. And playing it simple is fine as long as you're consistent with it, but it's just been a bit too inconsistent from Charles tonight. Misplaced passes and lost possession.
Sujnia looks to have been fouled.
Didn't get a foul there.
Kurt Am says no, and it's Lescano with a path to goal.
Oh, did he not shoot? Oh.
And he just dithered on it a bit too long there.
Yeah.
Good scramble defence there by Jovanovic to put him off.
Yeah, worrying there. Got through a bit too easily there. And, different day. It's 2-0.
Going into this match, looking at the lineups, I did sort of worry about the pace of Lescano and Miluznic in behind.
And Miluznic did obviously score that cracking goal earlier.
Yes.
God.
And it's just very one out.
Yeah. Yeah, like Lockie's looking in the middle there for like a run through the guts, and then there's no one there. Like shambolic. And
Kurt Am's blows for half time. Lots to think about over this 15-minute period. Can Ante Milicic inspire his troops in the second half to fire up and give it a good go?
There's going to be some burst eardrums in that Macarthur Bulls dressing room at half time, I think.
Hopefully it doesn't affect their communication in the second half.
Might wake them up, I think.
It's Brisbane Roar 1, Macarthur FC 0 at half time. We're here at half time at the Brisbane Roar Macarthur FC game, where Macarthur really offered nothing in that first 45.
Yeah, another 45 minutes of lackadaisical football from our Bulls. Much needed changes in the second half. No pun intended.
Yeah, our midfield, it looked a little bit more solid throughout parts of the half, with Charles and Much sitting a bit deeper, but we had nothing going forward. Ulysses being one out as the attacking midfielder, Roos starting on the left, not really getting much going, and Lockie up top really struggling to get those balls into feet.
I hope we can just create some decent chances. I don't think we really had one in that first half, so happens every week, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gets tired of repeating the same stuff, but it just keeps happening to us. Like, it's just, we'll be playing and it's like we're not even playing to try win sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a feature of the Macarthur coaching staff wanting to get minutes into the legs for a certain amount of time for certain players. Like, Much needs a 45-minute stint, De Vere needs 60 minutes, whatever. But obviously, that's getting in the way of us just playing football and going forward and trying to win.
On top of that, I think it's borderline criminal how De Silva isn't starting this game. like the form he's in.
He's red hot.
Yeah, you got to ride form. Like happened with Lockie earlier in the season. Like he bangs a couple goals in 2 games, so you stick with him, and it worked for that little bit. He's on 4 goals now.
Yeah.
So like you just have to stick with it. Like, and prioritizing health is obviously important because it's a long season, but
you don't want to leave yourself in a position where you can actually do something at the end of the season.
You don't want to be dropping points every week. Like, we haven't won a game in 5 games or so.
We haven't won this year.
Haven't won
a game this year.
I thought we had won one.
Well, you think about it. Our last game before the break was...
this year. Yeah, that's right. Not this season.
No.
Mate, that's a bit of a riddle. You threw me off.
No, our last one was against Newcastle at home, and that was even under difficult circumstances coming from behind. You wouldn't even say we played our best football that day either.
No.
So it's been a long time since we've put in just a good performance where we can sit back and enjoy it. It's always been nervy and...
very tense as well.
And just trying to eke out results. And while it might get you some, points on the table and make it look like you're performing well, we know that this season we've batted above our average. I don't know. Are we just overestimating what we can do? Is our conservative play just what we need to do to hang in there?
I think obviously time will tell, because I think there's just so much quality in this squad that by the end of the season, if we're still playing like this, you got to chalk it down to the staff, because with the personnel we have,
we should be doing better. Now, obviously, there's a lot of new boys in there, and we've seen glimpses of it. It's going to be hard for a new side to put something together for 90 minutes. Yeah.
Because even sides that have played together for years often struggle to put it together for 90 minutes.
And in these times when there's, having to be interchanges all the time, people coming into positions and having to fill in a role that they're not familiar with perhaps, and just not even having that teammate cohesion. I mean, we haven't played together for pretty much a month. They're just getting their legs back, fatigue setting in and making fools of all the players, maybe not living up to their standards. It is difficult. But we see here De Silva coming on and Yanu as well at halftime. So we've got more of a target up top. And we know De Silva can, rip a player and then provide the assist. So I feel like this was probably always the game plan for Milicic, but he wouldn't have expected us to be so lackadaisical in that first half.
Yeah. So who's coming off? Charles and...
Roos.
Yep.
Not offering much, but we'll catch you on the other side of this, guys. Go you Bulls, and hopefully we can pull off a masterful comeback.
Let's hope.
All right, we're back here in the second half. Lockie Rose being deployed out on the left wing. It looks like Milicic is really happy to just rotate players and roles. We also have Tommy Orr on the pitch.
Yeah, I think Much got pulled. So we've taken off Much for Tommy. Giannu's come on.
And De Silva for Mombois.
Yeah. And Rusi off as well, which I think that's the right call.
Macarthur, you have to say they have to really go for it here because they're in a precarious position. I know they've got a few games in hand on some of the clubs above them, but sitting in 5th with the likes of Wellington Phoenix biting on your heels, it's not a good position to be in.
Yeah, I think it's a bit demoralising for Machi and Charles. Like
hooked after 45,
changing our entire midfield 3, almost.
Well, you can't say it was unwarranted.
No, but you'd think...
They give them 15.
Obviously, in hindsight, you start with these 2, but...
Maybe it was always part of the plan. You know how they measure their minutes.
Yeah. Good ball there.
It's Yanu.
Whoa.
Oh, dangerous ball. Nearly an own goal there. But it's dealt with well ultimately from Corey Brown.
Only 2 minutes into this one and
we're looking far better.
Tommy just pulling the strings.
Far out. He does put in some decent balls. And it's not even the looping crosses. Sometimes it's just the scything kind of grass cutter.
Yeah.
We've seen him do it for Derbyshire last year, and if Arpo just sort of stayed in the middle, I think he's got a tap in there.
Got a corner here, whipped in.
Noon. It's fallen to De Vere.
Just a little bit too far away from him there.
Back to De Silva.
He's going to whip this one in.
No, he's going to take on him.
Well,
Leaves it.
See, no one else does that in the side.
Noon.
Back heel.
Again, a nice area, but no one attacking it. Good scrap there from Tommy Orr.
I think...
And we're looking a lot more assured already.
Ante's given it to him at half-time, and they're playing football now.
It's De Villa. Oh, he finds
ball.
a beautiful ball for Noon. He's going to have to use his right foot there. Sliding in from Janu. Good.
I like the intensity.
Good bit of intensity, but it's a goal kick.
Noon should have dove.
He should have used his right foot.
Yeah.
If he does, like, look at how this is going to his right foot. Come on. Janu could find himself in the back line next week in that kind of play.
Could have used him in the first half, I think. Oh, trouble. Oh, no.
Brisbane have just rolled it in. Jake Hoare, it could be an offside.
Saved by the bell.
Living very dangerously there, Macarthur Bulls.
Yeah, all starts from a wayward clearance from Curto, just sort of loops up in the air, and De Silva's not really going to win a header. It's just losing those 50-50s costing us, and
then being on the back foot.
Yeah, but
not reacting quick enough.
Escaped on there, got the replay going on now.
Jovanovic loses out. Susnyar gets sucked in. I mean, that's what happens when you're used to playing centre back.
Is it offside of the striker dropping in to receive it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very lucky there.
Doing well to turn them around, but still they're high up the pitch. Could be trouble here.
That's one thing with Brisbane. We just intercepted there. Janu forward for De Villa, but he's got no one ahead of him. He'll have to do it himself.
Then he needs to get on your bike, lad.
And De Villa looking for the foul.
He doesn't get it. Oh, he does.
Comes very late. But I will say about Brisbane's play, they get their right and left backs, Jack Hingett and Corey Brown, up very wide. They work it out to them and they swing in those crosses. Very dangerous. And Steinman and O'Shea do a good job of screening the back line when they go up.
Yeah, you notice whenever Brisbane receive the ball in the midfield or up front, they're always able to quickly turn and face forward. Whenever we're receiving it, it's always
under pressure,
or we're facing back to goal.
Yep.
We're always instantly turned around when we're receiving these passes.
Well, I suppose it's par for the course being a Bulls fan, getting 88 minutes of terrible football, and then 2 minutes of class.
2 minutes of elation.
It's well won there.
We're looking much better though.
Away goes to Silva.
Go on.
He's cut it back.
He's dancing and he just loses it there on the 18-yard box.
He's still there though. It's fallen for Lockie Rose. He has a strike, and it's well saved from Freak. Not exactly travelling, but it's a tough position to save it from.
It was close to the bottom corner there from Lockie. Good little strike, but we've seen him put him top bins before.
And now the Bulls starting to go to work. They've retained it in the midfield there. Jovanovic cleans up. It's swung out from De Silva. Susnyar assesses his options with the switch. Looking for Noon. Can't find him.
Wasn't really on, but
Brisbane throwing himself in there.
Brisbane looking a little rattled right now, which is good to see.
It's fallen to Orr. The reverse pass to Villa not reading it.
Oh, put the pressure on, lads.
They look a changed team in this half, and that's because 3 substitutions made at half time. Kai Truan steps up, and it's a decent ball out to Corey Brown on the byline. Bulls have got to deal with it here.
That could have been danger.
That was awkward, but effective.
Yeah,
from Jovanovic.
Not over yet because it's a corner. But
well measured.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
On the money. It's almost gone top bins from Jova. Jesus.
Didn't quite get that one right, did he?
If that flew in top bins, I don't know.
That's a Stachini.
I mean, it would have been hilarious, but I'm in Spain without the S.
Oh, it's well hit from Brown, but
audacious.
Just got under it. He's not a known goal scorer in the league, Corey Brown.
Even the coach definitely, he's shaking his head. Why are you shooting from there, mate? Oh, good little touch there. It's over the top.
Rose does well to get a touch.
Works out to Noon.
Oh, it's just a wide for him.
It's a
Can
bit
he cut it back?
long.
Oh, he's gone on his right.
Oh.
Ooh.
Good little turn there from Noon. Almost had him. Maybe 3 years ago he gets to that one. He's got a bit more pace in him.
Good scramble defence there from Brisbane, but if you're a Brisbane supporter, you're not feeling confident.
We've got a corner here in front of the RSL.
Home of the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Good little spot. Haven't been there myself, but looks nice.
We're up for it. Rose, he's clipped in the penalty box. It's gone for De Vere, and it's just trickled through for Macklin Freak.
I feel like we are not willing to just put our foot through it in the box. We saw it the other night with Mariappa, just putting his foot through it and blasting it in.
Have a look at here, though, the penalty shout for Rose. I mean,
dive.
If that's against the Mariners, all of a sudden, they're checking it at VAR.
Yeah.
And it's awarded a pen.
Needs to work on his diving a bit, Lockie.
He's just flumped.
He's flumped, yeah. It's not in rhythm at all. He's not going to sell a ref at this level.
This is the thing, you got to be moving.
Yeah.
You got to be at pace. The quicker you're moving, the more likely it is to be bought. Raheem Sterling is an absolute mastermind at this art.
Bruno Fernandes needs to take a leaf out of his book.
But because he was flat-footed, it did look a little bit cheap. De Silva, in deep midfield, not where we're used to seeing him.
Yeah.
But he's worked it well. This midfield three of Orr, De Vere, and De Silva looking a lot more solid.
Yeah, they're in rhythm.
They're ball players.
Yeah.
Technicians. Metzalas.
Reduces.
And it swung in. Swung into Gianu. Cops a bit of a shove in the back there, but ref says play on. Brisbane looking to just get a handle back on this game.
We're all over him at the moment. Yeah, throw in here for Brisbane, quite high up the pitch.
Game delicately poised.
Yeah. Much better from us, though, in the second half. This is how you want to see us playing. We've seen it rarely over these past few games.
Best thing that I've seen so far is Much sitting on the bench.
Oh.
Well, Akbari, he skipped past a couple. It's a decent ball. Has to be dealt with from Curto. It falls to Brown.
Whoa.
That's a screamer.
That's a class goal.
That's well taken.
He shut us up. We were chatting shit about him shooting from outside the box before, and he's put one in the bottom corner. Nice little volley from Brown.
And it's a long road back here for Macarthur. Brisbane fans in elation. Their season has been a shambles thus far. This could be the spark to bring them back to some sort of respectable level.
And that one's got to hurt for the Bulls. Like, we're all over him for the first 15 in this half, and there's just not much you can do.
Curto comes for it, doesn't get enough on it, and it's fallen fortuitously for Brown, who puts his laces through it, side netting, and you know what? He's had to take that first time through a sea of defenders, and it's well taken.
Yeah, good strike. But, again, our Bulls, just nothing going right for them at the moment. And it's now 2-0 in the 55th minute, I think.
This will tell us a lot about the character of the team. We know that they've come back from 2-0 down before. But it's a tough ask on a humid Sunday night in Redcliffe.
Yeah, you can't...
Especially with the Brisbane Roar with their tails up like this.
Something miraculous would have to happen for us to get 3 points in this game. At this stage. Feels all but lost. Another 1 point result at the most for us here.
Well,
60-minute mark and half an hour left to play for. Can we get 2 goals?
Brisbane controlling the game well now. Our initial flurry has really wavered, and it was a decent ball in, and my word,
you hate to see
some flat-footed defending.
Yeah, the ball should never be bouncing in the 6-yard box like that. We're lucky to get away with another one there. Just lucky Brisbane had no one following in.
Yeah, Sujniar at left back, and it is tricky because we don't exactly have depth in that position, but I think he's much more suited to the centre-back role.
Definitely.
Now, it is a question with any young player, really. how long do you give them to cook? How long do you give them chance after chance if they're not really producing? I suppose, Marmboy's had a couple off games, although he did have a great season last year. Lockie's been inconsistent, but then this season looks to have kicked on, but he looks like he's in a bit of a lull at the moment, at least with his general play.
At most, you give him 4, but really, season 3, if they've not...
4 seasons. Is this some sort of hotel?
The Hotel California. Can't leave, mate. But yeah, realistically, 3 seasons, if they've not made it or improved significantly by that 3rd season, then you got to start looking elsewhere.
And is that as a starter? You give him pre-seasons as a starter? Or as a impact player bench and then giving him a chance to work into the starting positions?
Because they're in and out of the starting squad. So they've not really made an imprint on that starting 11.
Well, I wouldn't say so. I mean, Charles and Lockie have certainly been starting a lot recently. Holman and Roos less so, but they're starting to get a few more minutes now.
But yeah, I think based off last season, and the start of this season for Lockie especially, they've bought themselves more time than you would typically give to a younger player.
Oh, and it looks like it could be 3. Ooh. Very quickly saved off the line there. Curto, fortunate bounce, really.
Just under the pump completely right now. And
Brisbane fans have found their voice.
Yep.
And looks a tough situation to get out of here for the Bulls. They need something. They need a spark. They need a goal, and quick.
Get stuck in. Well done.
Well,
Tommy.
The refs played it fair there. 2 would-be free kicks waved on. And they've left it behind.
That's just...
terrible communication. Al Hassan Toure seems to have made up for it, but the ref's playing advantage. No advantage accrued. Oh, it's play on. It's just a slobber knocker. Kurt Am's letting a lot go here.
I don't mind it.
Bulls are ready to work it wide here. Hopefully the communication's more on point. Looks like Al Hassan Toure just...
on your bike, mate.
Forgot how to listen for a second there.
Yeah, just a bit of miscommunication. Not awake.
Mariappa. It's those little moments, though, that really do kill the confidence when you're trying to move the ball forward. Again, Rose goes down under minimal pressure.
He's not...
trying to buy a free kick.
Yeah. He's not good at receiving it with the man on him, is he?
No. Holman has that sort of issue too, although Holman's got a little bit more technical ability to turn a player.
I think Holman, he's a bit more lively. He'll push off his man before the ball's about to come to him.
Something I've noticed with Lockie is that a lot of his first touch is not into space, but instead just killing it dead at his feet, which gives the defender the advantage to really just push him where he wants to go.
The defender can just swing a leg in there and they're going to win it.
If he's a bit more confident or dynamic, he can, push it around him, he can push it into space and then actually play. And that, I think, is just a feature of a bit of lack of experience. Yeah. We all know his story of coming from MPL2.
I think varying up his runs a bit more will serve him well as well.
That's right. It's fallen here for De Silva.
Scramble in the box almost.
Toure. Back to Sujnyar.
Every time we hit...
Sujnyar, it's a pass in.
De Villa down the right there. I think it was De Villa. Same with De Silva as well. We just hit him the ball and then there's no offering. It's oh yeah, he'll beat him.
Yeah. Which is trust, but in the... It's not always going to come off.
How often do we see a run from a supporting player just to drag a defender out of space? Never happens.
It's De Silva's ball. Floated. Looking for Jovanovic, but scrambled out by Brisbane. Rose has it. Lays it back on for Sujnyar. Decent areas. Oh, and it's a great goal. It's a great goal from Mariappa.
He's come up big again.
They've pulled one back, the Bulls, and it's all to play for now.
Yeah.
With Just started over 20 minutes to go.
See if we can kick on here, but who said he can't play on the wing? Schuschner with a beautiful cross in.
I never said he's got bad crosses.
And good header from Mariappa, just puts it under the keeper as he jumps up for it.
And that's 2-2 for our Jamaican Bull.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get something out of this game now. Getting excited.
Well, that got the heart pumping, and you know, the Bulls could come home here with a wet sail, and I wouldn't put it past them. They are the comeback specialists.
Yeah. We should just start the game 1-0 down, and we might win.
Well, we pretty much did. It didn't happen. Nothing happened until the second half.
Ideally, we win 3-2 here, but...
Well, it would take a fair bit. That's a strange call from Kurt Ams.
Yeah, goes against how he's been reffing this entire game. He's been letting a lot go.
Mariappa with a clean challenge.
Maybe he's just gone in with the studs up a little bit, maybe. And he said, none of that, mate. Thank you.
Here on the replay.
Oh,
not quite from behind. I think that's just good centre-back play.
And Dem didn't even really contest it. He's like, oh, yeah, you won the ball there. You wonder what goes through the minds of these referees sometimes, don't you?
I've never been one.
But
then you have to be a little bit mad to be one, don't you?
Yeah, I think I was a lino once, and never again.
Didn't call a blatant offside, let a goal in.
Yep.
We've all done it. But the Bulls here, they just need to get their foot back on the ball. It's one of those things when you do when you do score a goal, you're very vulnerable to a quick goal against you as well, because the other team come out and want to get that revenge. And since we've gone up, we haven't touched the ball once.
Looks like Brisbane are fired up here. Working it nicely at the back, absorbing the pressure, and then they can just spread it wide with ease.
Expected goals of 0.22.
Was it 0.22 or 0.52?
Oh, whatever.
I think it was 0.52 to Brisbane's 0.99. He's got no right to do that in the box.
Oh my God.
And it's gone in. Has it? Oh.
It's a goal. And De Silva...
He shot himself in the foot.
Completely. He's done 3 turns in the box.
What's he doing? Just sideline, mate. You're in your own box.
Oh, this is hard to watch. We shoot ourselves in the foot. 3rd week in a row, really. We had Najar's reverse assist against Wellington into Najar's penalties against Central Coast. And then De Silva decides, I've got to beat 3.
What are we doing
on the edge of my own area.
Like, just a brain fade.
And it's bobbled over the line. Calamity at the back for the Bulls.
Oh, mate.
Others just standing and watching. And how can you have... I mean, that is kind of peak A-League.
Peak Macarthur Bulls, mate. Oh, and he's
dived in.
Studs up. Is that Schuschner?
Yeah.
He's gone in studs up to try and win that. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a yellow.
I mean, what the fuck?
Ugh. Like...
Calamitous.
We love it when De Silva does that, but not
in our inbox. Oh, he was asking for trouble there and he fucking found it, didn't he?
Oh. Back to the drawing board. It's the hope that kills you in this Macarthur Bulls side, isn't it?
It's the hope that kills you.
You get it back to 2-1, you think we're on here, we're playing decent, and then we fuck around in the box.
Do. I mean, he's done 3 pirouettes.
Like, you'd see that in, like, under 8s. Like, one kid finally learned how to dribble, and he's just dribbling whenever he gets the ball and doesn't realise he's in his own box.
That's embarrassing, really. For all the good things that De Silva has done, I think he's kind of undone it there.
Yeah.
But the Bulls, they'll have to score soon to really put that pressure on. And credit to Brisbane. They really did see off the period after we scored through Mariappa quite well.
Yeah, and then...
Just really put their foot on the ball, manage the situation, and put us under a bit of pressure ourselves, obviously, and it told. The
momentum completely shifted after the goal we scored. Wake up Brisbane, that's for sure. The wide players and the attackers for Brisbane were on it today. But, I mean, most sides attack in the A-League could cause our backline trouble.
Well, it's now, the fourth game in a row where we've conceded more than one goal? Fifth game in a row where we've conceded more than one goal.
Complete antithesis to the start of the season where we went 3 games without conceding.
It's like we used all of our goal luck, as in not conceding.
And Brisbane just dancing in the corner here.
Basically spinning the ball on his finger. We've got to deal with it here. Let's not play with it in the box again.
Yeah, pass it to the Silver in the box, guys.
That is... I'm sorry, that's got to be like the worst moment of our club's history right there.
I don't know. There's been some bad ones.
Torre in behind for perhaps the first time in the match.
First time
Shields
in
it well.
Season.
It's back for De Villa. He's going to try and win a pen here. Decent.
Oh, Giano has to put that in. You have to score that. That's what you're up there for, mate.
That is a gilt-edged opportunity. Macklin Freak does get a touch to it, but Jesus. It's fallen 3 yards out to our striker.
Yeah. It's an absolutely rapid
Keeper
ball
on the floor.
From De Villa, and the keeper's fumbled it right into Gianu, and he's just got to hit it over the keeper.
Jesus
He's hit him in the
Christ.
face. He's hit him in the face.
Falcon. Oh, no. It's really not your night when that sort of stuff's happening.
Gianu.
Come on. That's 2 now gilt-edged opportunities that he's had. That one was easier than the one against Western United.
I'd like to see his expected goals, because he should have scored 1 by now, and we've been done at the back here.
It could be icing on the cake here. It's run wide for Brisbane, but
Still not over. Cross in.
danger, and it's dealt with by Meredith. It's a corner for Brisbane, and it's not where we want it. But yeah, you have to say though, Janu, when he has come on, looks a lot more lively than he has in the last couple games, especially with his tracking back and his pressuring. I mean, he's back there even on the sideline, but it's not what he's paid to do.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like, unless you're Firmino and you can drop in and go wide and slot into all these gaps in the midfield and whatever, we need you up there in the centre, getting on the end of stuff like that.
For the first time in the match, he's done it, and it's harsh, you know. When it falls to you quickly like that, you take the snapshot and you hope it goes in, and 99% of the time in that position it would have gone in. But it's just not happening for the Bulls tonight.
Give us something to cheer about at the end of this game, but...
Well, I think this is going to be one to forget, really.
De Silva working it forward nicely.
Unless...
McGinn getting tied up here. Works it nicely.
De
Have
Silva
a dig. Oh, he's
dribbles
dancing.
in.
Too
And
much.
again, he's tried to go through 3, and last time he tried that, didn't go so well.
Well, last time he tried to go through 3, it ended up in the back of the net, so I don't blame him for trying it again. This time in the Brisbane box, not our own, but...
I mean, I'm going to have nightmares tonight, and it's just going to be a replay of that.
Ugh. Like, even at Campbelltown Stadium, you'd hate to see this. Obviously, a lot better performance than the last couple games.
Only really
in
the
the second half. Yeah,
Like,
first half was one to forget. But
I personally, I have to question the tactics of Milicic there. Why would you put out a side that's not going out there to play for the first 45?
look, we don't even know if it's the minutes restrictions or whatever they're doing, but the fact you line up like that and have to swap out your 2 centre mids at half time, like,
Tells you that he got it wrong.
yeah, and like, yeah, that's fine to admit, but like, where's the foresight? You know, obviously we're talking in hindsight,
Yes.
but like, I don't think Charles and March can work in that too.
At least not at their current levels of fitness.
Yeah. And we see in the second half with the rotating 3 of De Silva, De Villa and Orr, they're just recycling, they're moving in and out of space. It's a lot more fluid. And then it feels like, well, Much especially, he's not going to be moving much from the central. But then Charles sticks to his position a lot as well. Just a bit too rigid.
Yeah, and I don't know if... I mean, we saw last season when he was... And that's game over.
Milicic already shaking hands.
He's already gone in the sheds.
Before the game's over, he's shaking hands and he's off into the sheds.
Yeah, he's not happy with what he's seen.
I think he's done that before.
Mm.
The rest is letting it go, is he? We're over 4 minutes here.
We're in Fergie time.
Yeah, pray for Fergie time.
Nah, and that looks to be that. Kurt Ams blows the whistle, and Macarthur FC coming home, likely outside the top 6 now.
Mm. And it's 3-1 to Brisbane Roar.
You have to say, an extremely disappointing performance from the Bulls, particularly in the first half, and just those crucial moments. I mean, De Silva, Janu,
Brain farts.
just inexplicable.
Yeah. Back to the drawing board yet again.
Yeah, I'm lost for words, to be honest. We've just got to hope for better performances and, another week of football in the legs, and hopefully the Bulls can come out with a bit more firepower for a sustained period of time rather than just half a game.
Look, I think there's positives to take out of that first 25 minutes in the second half. That was some solid football from us. But as we've said before, the fact we're replacing the 2 centre mids at half time, like, those are meant to be your most
Locked in players
that you don't sub out for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And we've had to make the change at half time, which I'm glad they did, rather than,
persisting with it and suffering.
Yeah. But just, we expect more from these Bulls, and they're not giving it to us at the moment.
Yeah. Some, unfortunate things not going our way, but you make your own luck when you're good enough, and we were not good enough.
Nah, and we haven't been good enough recently either. Like, the first goal for Brisbane is a great goal. Nothing you can do about that.
Second one, well taken, but should have been dealt with earlier.
Should have been dealt with, and was a bit against the run of play at that stage in the game. We were...
Bit of a killer.
Yeah, completely killed our momentum. And then, we get one back just on the stroke of the 80th minute. And you think, we're a chance here, but then...
Minutes later.
Just complete lack of concentration. I don't know what we're doing there. Like, De Silva, we love you, but...
You can tell he's never played in defence before.
He doesn't know the first rule of defence. If in doubt, kick it out.
Yeah, he's in the 6-yard box doing pirouettes.
Ugh.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's childish.
Yeah.
Mariappa with the goal. I mean, good for him. Good for us. But
he's done solid. Like, a couple of times on those through balls, he'll be a step off the pace, but coming up with goals in this game and the last one.
Really, the only solid positive that we can take out of this.
Yeah. I'll say Tommy was good in centre mid again. We got to see him start in centre mid next game.
But I think
very measured.
I think you've really hit the nail on the head though. With our midfield is the problem here. Of course, conceding 3 goals again in a match, it's not saying good things about our defence. But I think we're just going through a rough patch, and they'll come good. But our midfield, I think, is very much off the pace. Getting minutes into his legs is going to be taking time, and I think maybe there's other players who could be doing better there. But also, I want to talk about Charles, right? I think he's a player without a proper identity, if that makes sense. Last season, we saw him deployed a little bit higher up, attacking midfield. He could get on the ball, dribble a player, try and find the wide players and the through balls and whatnot, and even make forays into the box. We saw him score a nice goal against Newcastle last year, for instance. But this year, deployed deeper, having to be a real anchor man, someone who has to sort of dictate the play, and it's a lot to put on his shoulders. And I feel like he's not adjusted to that role well yet. Still learning the role.
And he's good at keeping it simple and one touch, knock it around. But the last couple of games, he's just as you said, been a little bit lost or off the pace and easily, knocked off the ball and just not getting into it as you would expect.
Also highlights to me, this game does, the lack of depth that we have at left back. Really killing us. Like, we don't really have an out-and-out left back bar James Meredith, who can't really do 90 minutes anymore.
No.
At least not consistently. So you have the likes of Sujnyar, who can be deployed there, but he's
a centre back.
He's a centre back. He's a bit wasted on the left. It's not his natural position. And, a couple of times when, not saying he got absolutely skinned, but like there was just some positional indecisions.
And when we're trying to progress the ball, he's not really an option to work it down the left.
Yeah, he's not got the sort of guile.
He's not going to be able to turn and face his defender and put him on the back foot. So he's going to be going central or back to goal. And with how deep our centre mids were sitting, we're only headed one way, and that's backwards.
Yeah, and it makes it very easy to defend.
I think if we have real wing backs, then is much more effective.
Yeah,
in his role where he slots in between the centre backs, because we're able to get wider as a team. But if you're coming up against Shuzhnar on the wing, you're like, oh well, I can leave him there. He's not going to run away from me.
Yeah,
you can give him the extra 5 yards, and it just compacts us even more in the midfield. We saw that tonight.
Yep. So it's a question of, do the personnel fit the tactics? And I'm not 100% sold on it. Difficult times, we know this. We know that there's a COVID situation, and a lot of players at different levels of fitness and fatigue. But I mean, professional football club with the profile of player that Macarthur have, we'd expect better than this.
And the profile of our head coach.
Yeah. It's certainly it's not working. You just got to hope that the boys don't drop their heads and go, oh, this isn't working and we can't do it. Which, the second half at least showed that we've got some belief that we can go and do it, and we're sticking to our plan.
I think we definitely have belief. We've seen it enough this season alone where we're able to dig deep and come back, but we shouldn't have to be coming back.
That's right. And if the win, doesn't come soon, maybe some of especially the younger boys, might start to doubt.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. It's a tough time to be a Bulls fan at the moment, even notwithstanding all the banging goals we've scored recently. But I think that's glossed over a lot of our structural issues.
Yeah.
And they'll have to sort that out. And I don't know how you do that, whether it's a rethinking of everything, but then do you do that in the middle of the season with it being so packed? I think you just got to stick with what you got.
You just got to write it out, and I think we'll come good. There was glimpses here of the midfield three of De Silva, Orr, and De Villa, but there's no defensive presence in those three. It's all they're active and moving, but when we're
not controlling the game,
when we're not controlling the game,
they won't be ball winners.
No. And I think Much is the closest thing we have to that, but even he isn't going to.
Well, you need that player to be getting around and being physical.
Yeah.
Being imposing on an opposition and
collecting bodies and yellow cards.
Yeah.
Just cleaning people up.
Yeah, and he's not getting around and being enough of a nuisance.
Yeah.
So, tricky one. Maybe our personnel doesn't line up exactly how we need it to with our system, but there's little options to really change that. We've just got to move on to the next one and try again and hopefully not concede in the first 2 minutes. Maybe that'll help us out a bit.
Yeah. Who have we got coming up next? I'll have a quick look.
Have a quick squeeze. But where's that leave us on the ladder as well? Let's have a quick look at the end of this match week.
We've got Adelaide United coming up next, Saturday the 19th of Feb at home.
So we have a week off now, which you would say is probably desperately needed.
Yeah.
Ante needs to get him into training and actually be like, right, here's what you do.
And then following that, quick turnaround Wednesday game against Perth, but that's not concrete yet because they're Perth locked in or locked out or what's going on?
They just played they just played a game against Central Coast where it was 1-1 at full time in Gosford. So, look, that match is likely to be a home match for us, just given that they can't go back home. at least not now. But we're sitting in 6th position with Wellington 1 point off of us, and the Newcastle Jets also sitting on 11 points. So we're 15 points, tied actually with Adelaide and Melbourne Victory. We have 2 games in hand on Adelaide, so we'd expect to pick up some points over those 2 games in hand. Western United sit at the top of the comp on 20 points after 11 games played, followed by Melbourne City on 19 and Sydney FC on 17. So tight top 6, really. If we can get a win or 2 in a row, all of a sudden we're looking near the top of the table again. It's disappointing the way we've been playing, but really, we're not far off it. And we just need things to start going right for us.
Yeah, and hopefully soon. Again, there's glimpses, but just not happening for the Bulls at the moment. Back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And with that, we'll thank you for your listenership. This has been a Bull Banter podcast production.
Bull Banter Watchalong, not live.
Kind of live. But yeah, grim viewing. And we might do this again, but
eventually,
hopefully when we do this again, we'll actually cop a win.
Yeah, hopefully. But eventually I'd like to try live stream it for these away games.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But got to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, got to get a Twitch.
Yeah. Or
Get
YouTube. Or,
working.
I think you can do Facebook.
Yeah, but no, we're not doing that.
Well, everyone's on there. It's easy.
Insta.
Yeah.
Everyone's on Insta.
Just
if you're cool.
Instagram live while we're doing it.
Yeah, just set it up right next. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned. I think so. Yeah, home next against Adelaide, and then we'll see what happens with that Perth game. It'll probably be a home game. That was shocking, that last home game against Wellington, because it was an away game. There was just nothing happening at the ground.
Yeah, look, there's more problems than just on the pitch, but we'll save that for another episode.
All right. Thank you. And
We'll catch you later.
Catch you next time.